I'm Brandon Amoroso, and this is the D2Z podcast, building and growing your business from a Gen Z perspective. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to D2Z, a podcast about using the Gen Z mindset to grow your business. I'm Gen Z entrepreneur Brandon Amoroso, founder and president of e-commerce agency Electric. Today, I have a special episode that I recorded for our parent company, Drinks, about their new program that they're launching with their own direct-to-consumer brand called the Ultimate Wine and Cider. I'll be going through a deep dive with Louis Amoroso, their president of direct-to-consumer, about the program. And I think this is a great episode for listeners because it really shows the potential that large-scale activations, especially that have this sort of virality component to them, and how you can deploy it to help grow your own e-commerce business. So without further ado, here is Drinks Presents the Ultimate Wine and Cider with Drinks President Louis.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
So before we hop in, can you just give everybody a quick background on yourself and then maybe a little bit about wine and ciders, and then we can take it from there?
Sure. I've been in the beverage alcohol space for the better part of 30 years, mainly in the direct consumer side of the business, and everything from beer, craft brewed beer back at the beginning of the craft revolution, up through wine, which continues today with wine and ciders. Wine and ciders is one of the largest direct consumer properties in the United States. And unlike a lot of direct-to-consumer wine companies and wineries, Wine and Ciders is focused on sort of regular e-commerce transactional business, not subscription box business. We feel that that drives much better value for the customer, letting them buy wine the way they're used to buying wine. They can buy by the bottle, 3 bottles, 6 bottles, however many bottles they want at whatever price point they want, and whatever type of wine they want. And so that has led us to much better retention than in my previous direct consumer wine company, which was pretty much, like 99% subscription box focused.
Got it. I think that's a pretty unique sort of spin that Wine and Ciders has versus the rest of the direct-to-consumer space, because most of the brands that I see, it's all club this, club that, and you're really forced and bucketed into purchasing in one way. But in the reality is that a lot of consumers don't want to shop that way, especially with wine, which is such a product of discovery. I think it probably is selling yourself short if you're forcing people into particular SKUs within a certain category.
Yeah, we definitely agree. And I mean, we do have subscription programs, but we treat them more as a value add, where if someone does want to join for whether it's one shipment or a year or a couple of years, they can. But then if they like a particular, varietal, or they want to be at a certain price point, then they can jump out and buy regularly. Versus if you acquire them into a subscription program, once they cancel that subscription program, 9 times out of 10, they're sort of done with your company because they sort of view it like, hey, I did it, I didn't like it, or I'm out for a certain reason, and they cancel and send you to their junk box.
Yeah, that seems to be a recurring theme that we've tried to approach our D2C brands within the Shopify agency. Is you don't have to drive to subscription as the first order. Frankly, the more natural progression is to bring customers in with a one-shot order. Once they find the product or even decide that they like your brand, then that's when you can start to upsell them on the value of the subscription. The whole, we're going to discount your first order by 90% so we can get you to make that first club order and then charge you on the second order is something that a lot of consumers see through now, which I think just across the board, there's a less tolerance for marketing gimmicks and BS from consumers than there ever has been, just because of how much more aware and educated they are. But hopping into the Ultimate Insider, so what sort of spawned the idea for that to begin with, and what exactly even is it? Like, what is the I guess we want to call it program, or the sort of event, what exactly is the prize that people are going to be winning?
So the prize that they're going to win is $100,000 cash prize, plus 4 amazing trips to wineries across the world, where they're going to participate in the creation of a varietal, in essence, a brand at each of these wineries that we will then produce and sell through Wine Insiders. And what's great about this is that this can be done either as a full-time gig for that year if you wanted, or if you already have a job and this is just something you're passionate about and want to try it out, and you have 4 weeks that you can take off, that you can do this and without leaving your current job, in conjunction with your current job. And this is I think that's what's really interesting about this, because we have a ton of customers. Also, there's just a ton of wine lovers out there who it's their passion, but not something they want to do full time at this point. So this will really allow them to, assuming they're selected, to engage and dip their foot into the wine industry.
I might have to quit my job after this call and send in my 2-week notice. But how are people able to apply? What's the criteria to select this ultimate insider?
So, it's a pretty easy process. Fill out an application and send in a video explaining why they feel they would be the ultimate insider and why we should choose them. And then we have a panel of people, both internal and external, that will be working to select what we feel is the best fit for this role.
Got it. And I think outside of the obvious, like the content that they're going to be creating, from a brand perspective, what are the goals or some of the KPIs that you think are going to be achieved as a byproduct of doing this? Because you're obviously not going to be giving somebody $100,000 with no expected return coming in.
Yeah, I think it's really, it's twofold, or really more than twofold, but 2 of the biggest things are, one is engaging our current customers. Wine Insiders has been around for 40 years. This is our 40th anniversary. We have had millions of people buy from us. We've delivered tens of millions of bottles of wine over those 40 years. And we have a lot of customers that engage with us on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis, that we want to give them the opportunity to get even more engaged, to show us why they think they'd be the ultimate insider. Then in addition, we feel this is a great way to sort of expand the brand footprint. We feel this is something that will get a lot of attention because it's such a great opportunity. Get a fair amount of money, travel the world, visit wineries, eat great food. As you said, who wouldn't want to do it? And so those are really the 2 biggest aspects, and especially on sort of the expanding the footprint, we feel that this campaign, ties in really well with social and with our influencer programs, and will allow us to expand that footprint as well.
From a marketing perspective, I think the value here, I guess my assumption would be it's going to be repeatable. Like, I think this is probably something that will become a recurring thing based off of my perception of how well this is going to be sort of picked up, not only by the media, but also by customers. Who would not share this with all their friends? that love wine. Hey, you have the opportunity to go travel the world, and some other company's going to pay for you. And oh, by the way, you can quit your job too because they're going to pay you $100,000 to do it. Feels like pretty much a no-brainer. And I think we're probably going to get quite the evangelist out of whomever ends up doing this. But also, given the fact that Wine Insiders has a global footprint in terms of the product sourcing, I think this will give a really cool behind the scenes look to all of the current customers of the wineries that we're buying from in a more sort of, I guess, authentic way than maybe you'd get from like an employee going or something along those lines.
Yeah, I agree.
So what is like the rollout strategy for this? Is it, and how do you think it could potentially be replicated by others in the industry? Because more and more with paid media acquisition costs going up, there is a need and a desire for alternative channels to go out and get basically attention. That's why you see a lot of influencers, celebrities starting brands, because they have the eyeballs. And so you don't have to go spend millions of dollars on Facebook to try and get somebody to become interested in your product. What are some sort of things that could be taken away from this from a winery perspective that could potentially be leveraged?
So in terms of rolling it out for our existing customers, we're informing them via sort of the traditional channels of email, direct mail, inserts into our shipments going out the door, all in an intent to engage as many of those customers as possible to do a video, make their application, and create a stronger bond with them. And then in terms of new customers, most of it is social influencer, paid digital media, and to your point, definitely things have changed a lot in the past couple of years on cost per order, and media rates are skyrocketing. Costs are going up. So I think that pending how this program does, which we think it's going to do amazing and get a lot of publicity, is that I think probably other wineries and other people in the beverage space will perhaps try and jump on board with similar types of competitions to try and figure out other ways to acquire customers at a lower cost per acquisition.
I mean, I think the ability to take that in-person experience and then showcase it, as well as, I mean, are you doing a concerted like PR outreach effort to try and get pickup for this? Or is it really more of an earned media approach where just because of the nature of how crazy of a competition it is, we're just going to let it sort of spread naturally?
So we're going to do the latter, but also, and I'm sorry, I left that off previously. Yes, we are going out pretty aggressively with PR to reach out to, just sort of general lifestyle reporters as well as industry reporters, and really try and spread the message there as much as possible. But hopefully, what we're going to get as well is that people in the space, in the food and wine space, whether in the space meaning already working in that area, or more so that are just passionate about food, wine, travel. Hopefully all those segments will jump on board. As you said earlier, jump on board, tell their friends, they'll tell their friends, and hopefully we're going to be up late and getting up even earlier to go through thousands and thousands of videos and applications to see who the ultimate insider is.
I'm curious to see how many of the applicants are current customers versus net new to Wine Insiders? And then also, once the winner is selected, which of those net new to Wine Insiders actually end up becoming customers, to really see like what's the true ROI here from an orders and revenue standpoint for Wine Insiders. I think that'll be an interesting sort of recap after it's done to publish out as like a case study and sort of showcase this is the power of sort of competition marketing, but also virality and really doing something that's more unique than your standard sort of marketing gimmicks and tactics.
Yeah, and as you know, Wine Insiders sells at the popular price points. Most of our wine is selling between $8 and $25 a bottle. Our average bottle price is around $12. So we sell great wine at a great value, and there's sort of the more people that hear about Wine Insiders and try Wine Insiders are always amazed at the value they're getting. So this is just another way to sort of spread the word. And I agree, it'll be very interesting to see how many of these people that apply to be the ultimate insider that are net new customers that actually continue to buy.
Yeah, because my this is obviously totally different, but my first thought goes to like sweepstakes, and you see sweepstakes all the time, and you'll get like 10,000 emails, but then maybe 4 people end up actually purchasing because they're just there for free shit, versus what this feels like, which is there's actual, first of all, the application process is not just entering your email, which is an extremely low barrier to entry, and it's just going to get sort of deal finders, not somebody who actually has any interest in the brand whatsoever. I think the gate behind that video and the fact that not anybody is just going to be able to create that video is going to make them higher intent to begin with. And I bet there's probably some interesting things too that we could do with that video content that comes in the first place.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing that content and how we can leverage it.
So thank you so much for joining us today. I think that covers basically everything that I wanted to touch on about the program. For everybody that's listening, we're going to start rolling this out sort of in phases. So there's going to be a bunch of sort of assets, not only from like a digital marketing perspective with the landing pages, with the email and SMS communications, but there's going to be some additional sort of video comms that will go out. We're going to be doing a podcast. We've got a bunch of social media stuff going. We're going to be doing direct mail outreach as well. We're basically hitting every communication channel to make sure that this has as massive of a reach as possible. And then we're going to be sort of documenting along the way the actual results too, because there's obviously the Wine Insiders brand and what we're trying to accomplish there. But we're also trying to use this as a moment and opportunity to educate and help the rest of the industry think of new and creative ways that they can reach new customers and start to expand their footprint as well. So we'll include like a wrap-up case study as well of how this initiative went, including number of net new signups all the way down to what you could potentially expect a percentage breakdown of net new customers would be for you to potentially try something like this at your winery. And if you tried at your winery, I would like first dibs at being the one to get invited to apply for it. So thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for joining us, Louis. And if you have any questions about the program, feel free to just reach out to us at wineries@drinks.com and we'll get back to you. Thanks again.
Thank you.